Praise kitties, welcome to Spirit Kitty Tarot. We are doing a past life reading for you, and we're going to talk about how you were in your past lives, the messages you really need to know in this lifetime, and really how you can be on your soul path and really do all the things you really need to do in this lifetime with the knowledge of the past. So let's get started. The timestamps for the yes or no that's going to be at the end is going to be in the comment section if you're just looking to have answers. And we're going to begin with the Strength card. Okay. Just a warning, this might be heavy. We're going to talk about difficult things in this reading, and we're going to really discuss how you can overcome possibly obstacles in this lifetime that have been passed on from the past, how you have changed. And with the Strength card, it does seem that in the past you struggled with something you have been struggling in this lifetime as well, and it keeps testing your patience, but you're somebody who is equipped with a lot of patience anyway. You have been someone who didn't let your emotions get the best of you, and you were always calm and collected, at least you tried to be. With the Star card, in this life, it does look like you are going after the things you weren't able to before, and there's a love that was affected because of this, because you were going after the things you really wanted without the thing is, they wanted you to prioritize your relationship so much so that you were sacrificing your own betterment and your own growth, and that didn't really naturally sit right with you. And you told them that this wasn't what you wanted. You wanted your progress, you wanted your career or your growth. And this person, although they told you that they cared about you a lot, they had an ultimatum set for you. And they thought that if you couldn't give them as much time as they required you to, you couldn't work out. And because of that, you felt that even though they were being unfair, you couldn't really compromise there, and you couldn't really compromise your own life for this relationship. And we have the Page of Swords. As time progresses and you're able to build things that you were really struggling with, you are now flourishing at things. You remember this person and you regret how it all went down. You don't regret your decision, but you do really wonder how it would be if it was still going on. With the King of Wands, this person also misses you. They aren't with somebody else, and if they did try things romantically, relationships, they didn't really work out, and they never really felt that the other people amounted to the love you both shared. And you're both busy making money right now. It seems that you both are soulmates, and whether you choose to be with each other in this lifetime, you kind of are destined to cross each other's path again. And there's still hope in both of your hearts because of this. You feel that you are destined to be together, and as many years pass, you will continue to harbor this love. Even if you're with somebody else, eventually they hope, and even you hope to a certain degree. There's some part of you that still wants to be with them, and you wonder if that will eventually happen in this lifetime. And your guides really think that maybe there is a healthy solution to this, and there is possibly a common ground that can be found between you two. Although, as all of this is said, the other side to the coin is it will come with inevitable heartbreak again and again, because both of you have not overcome the things that really separated you. And that will be a part of the relationship. That will be the third party of the relationship, the unresolved things that would turn into an entity over time if you turn back to each other. I hope that makes sense. Okay, with the Six of Vessels, yes, we do have the reunion happening, and it's very much possible that in a not so near future, but in the future, very not too far away, you will consider getting back with each other. And maybe this reading, if you listen to it, would solidify that opinion. If you choose to do that, you have to know that the emotions you share for each other are the only thing in common that you two have. And maybe, of course, you share really good memories and a lot of good things that you really want to share with one another, but there are things that you both individually, separately need to work on, which you haven't. And with this tag, there are defenses up and guards up when you see each other. And even though the memories might be really fond and sweet, once you start being around each other, all of the problems come back. The shortcomings, the arguments, the nitpicking, the tiny habits that they have or you have that really annoy one another, they start to resurface. And while this person will really bring up all of these emotions in you and vice versa, this relationship will consume you, and it doesn't seem that if you right now get back together, you will be able to sustain yourself, and emotionally, of course, you will not be able to be emotionally stable with one another. We really talked about love in this, and your guides need to tell you this, and your guides are saying very clearly that you shouldn't put yourself second in a love dynamic. And while this person really cared for you, they were asking you too much of yourself, and they needed you to compromise on more things than they were willing to. And really think about these things before you consider getting back together, if you do. And think about what you really want in a relationship rather than what you are attracted to, and meaning who you are attracted to. You're attracted to this person, but what are the things you really cherish in a partner? What are the things that objectively people would want in a partner, and do they really, without having a very extensive unhealthy list of things, that materialistic things, rather substantial things that really everybody needs in a partner of emotional value, and do they really amount to these things? Are they changing the things that were problems, and were you willing to change the things that they didn't really deem acceptable or tolerable? And So the thing is, this reading was more about how this relationship has been a really big impact on your life, and while everything else starts running and you run through the motions of things, career wise and profession wise, even though it is very much significant in your life, this thing is very much the thing you really need advice on, and that's why we're talking about this. We have the seer. It's communication and the lack of communication. You really were both individually feeling a lot of things and considering conversations that you didn't really have, and it stewed over time in your heads and became something of a huge misunderstanding that could have been resolved in smaller intervals of really discussing things, sitting down, small conversations back to back, and continuously really communicating, which didn't really happen, and that's why it boiled over. With the your elders really played a part in this as well. They weren't really sure what was exactly going on with both of you, and all the advice they could really give was how you could be happy, and they just wanted your happiness. So what they really said and the advice they gave was, if this is what you want, if separation would really benefit you and it would help you heal, then do it. And at the time, you felt compelled to leave this person as well because of these things, even though they didn't really know the gravity of the situation and the depth of the circumstances, how they were and you were, and everything else. So now the last two cards are messages from your guides are in this present time. We have the loyalty and the wisdom card, and your loyalty might be with them, and you might feel with time, even though you still might care about them, now you choose yourself. And whoever you really end up wanting to be with, if no one or yourself, and if other partners come along, you choose somebody else, you feel that this person will always hold their own ground. But, and this is a very heavy, but it's no pun intended. The wisdom in this scenario is to assess things objectively, and when they do come along, or you run into them, and if you start considering going back to them, think about all of the things we just talked about, and it's wise to not spontaneously get back together. And we're now going to answer your questions. This was very much only about this romance, and I guess you wanted to talk about this. Pause the video if you need to think about the questions. And the first is, wisdom is in taking your time, and it can be a yes in time, not right now. It can turn into something positive in time. Right now, you just need to take your time in deciding this, to the first question. And to the second, it is looking really positive. You have all of the resources. For the second, it is a yes, and it looks like you're capable of doing this. So really positive. To the third, it is a soulmate connection with a lot of similar energy that is grounding you and really helping you. So it looks really positive. So there you have it, Aries. I hope this helped, and maybe consider subscribing, and have a great day. Bye.